think we're almost ready for the off then. This big grid of MX5s gets underway, and it's a good start by Ben Short from pole position. Is he going to have the lead down to the first corner? I suspect he might do over Pierce. It does indeed. And it's Ben Smiles in third, Thomas Holland in fourth as they turn their way through Copse for the first time. Off they go down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Let's see if it's Ben Short still with the advantage. Yes, it is. Pierce, though, has not let him get away. He's in second. Not entirely the most controlled approach to the corner from Pierce. He might lose out a place there to Smiles. That was Richardson, I think, going wide as well over the dust on the exit of Beckett's as well. Scott Leach is also someone who needs to make up ground. He started 37th. He's already made up quite a lot of places, as it looks like it's, Pierce still just in second, but it's very close and he locks up.
Yeah, so got really close to the back of Ben Short's car. That really wide entry seemed to work very nicely for him on the exit. He had some great speed down the straight to try and repel Ben Smiles. Around the outside comes Simon Walker-Hansel, the pole sitter from race one. He's trying to take third position away from Ben Smiles. He might have just done it around the outside on the exit of Luffield. A couple of cars kicking up some gravel. There was one who definitely went through the gravel as well. It was one of the darker cars. We'll try and pick up who that was. But it's Ben Short who leads at the end of the first lap, ahead of Michael Pierce. Simon Walker-Hansel in third position ahead of Ben Smiles, but Tom Holland trying to get up on the inside. Ian Tomlinson as well. They're side by side going through Copse Corner. They've got Jordan Johnson for close company as well. It's another fantastic train of cars making their way towards Maggots.
Certainly is. Fantastic start to this race. There's up the inside, there goes Simon Walker-Hansel. He's got third place away from Ben Smiles there. There's Tomlinson in fifth now. Thomas Holland's been shuffled back quite a long way here to about 10th, I think, on this lap. He started the lap in fifth position.
And who's just gone ahead of him? Is that Oak Richardson who's just gone ahead of him as well? So he's very quickly latched himself into this train of cars. Yeah, it was. You can just see the blue livery with the yellow star familiar for Oak Richardson. There's a big moment here for Simon Walker-Hansel, who had a bit of a swapper going through Brooklands in that third placed car, just trying to keep Ben Smiles at bay. There is Tom Holland, that 74 car, in a three wide moment in the middle of Luffield. Very brave indeed, and he ends up taking the gravel this time on the exit of the corner.
So lap 2 completed of what probably is going to be a 13-lap race, and Ben Short's come out of that with a lead of more than a second. That's looking ominous for everybody else. Will he do a Dan Garrett and let everyone else catch up? Probably not, but we've got the next four with a blanket you could throw over them. Pierce, Walker-Hansel, Smiles and Tomlinson, not necessarily now in that order. And Oak Richardson is trying to forge his way into this group as well. Jordan Johnson is also there. It's Simon Walker-Hansel that's going to be second through Beckett's, then Tomlinson third, and then Pierce and Smiles level pegging fourth. Both of them leaving the door open for Jordan Johnson to come through on the inside though.
Great stuff again, and great driving from Tomlinson so far this weekend. He's had to have a big recovery drive already so far today, and now he's sort of reaping the benefits of it a little bit as he looks on the inside of Simon Walker-Hansel, who locks up again going into Brooklands. So there was a Tomlinson-sized gap on the inside that the number 9 machine went through. Got the wrong line through Luffield now, so has to go all the way around the outside. Everybody else in fifth position at the moment, but that train being led by Michael Pierce. Through the gravel again goes Ben Smiles. That's the second time today he's had a trip through that gravel trap, although this one was a little bit more severe for him, as Tomlinson's just edged ahead of Simon Walker-Hansel into second place. This lot now nearly 2.5 seconds behind race leader Ben Short. Through on the inside, Michael Pierce, the reverse grip pole sitter in the green number 40, the number 70 machine on the inside at Copse Corner, and I think he's about emerged in second place.
He is just about going to do that, and Tomlinson's lost positions. He started the lap in second. He's going to be down to 5th or 6th by the time they go through Beckett's, because it's Pearson, then Walker-Hansel, then Richardson ahead of him. Tomlinson's off on the runoff area there, but he's sort of level pegging with his nearest rival. He made up 30 places in the earlier race, did Ian Tomlinson. He had made up 6 in this race, but he's lost at least 3 of those now, as it's Walker Hansel looking up the inside of Michael Pearce this time into Brooklands corner. Can he go through? Pearce is certainly very, very wide. I think he's going to have to concede the position here to Simon Walker Hansel and also to Oak Richardson. He's had a sensational drive from 13th position and is now up to 3rd, isn't he?
Contact between Andy Bailey and Jordan Johnson in their dispute over 6th position in the middle of Lovefield as well, but they both got away with that one. It was Bailey's front left corner into the right rear corner of Jordan Johnson as they rounded the right-hander. Walker Hansel leads Richardson, leads Pearce, leads Tomlinson over the line, but only 4 tenths or so between them when they went over the timing line. Absolutely incredible stuff, and they are in the same order out of Copse that they came into it. You can see they've got about 8 tenths of a second over that next train of cars being led by Jordan Johnson, although Tom Holland's trying to do something about that.
Yeah, absolutely right. So there they go. Short's lead nearly 3 seconds now, but then the next 3 seconds covers everyone back to 14th. Second to 14th.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely crazy stuff. Here comes Ian Tomlinson trying to regain some of that lost ground. Back up the inside of Michael Pearce he goes. This for 4th place. Is he going to get this done? Pearce no, he's going to stay there on the inside line, I think. Having said that, Tomlinson's sticking on him all the way around the outside. Ben Smiles has dropped into a battle with Ben Hansey. So that's about 9th and 10th or something like that. He's disputing now. He dropped out of the top 10, hadn't he, Ben Smiles, after a promising early start to the race, and it's followed a similar pattern to the race at Brands Hatch, or the race weekend at Brands Hatch. Mary Barnard, as you can see on the screen now, has got a 10-second penalty for a false start. So number 29, Mary Barnard, who is running in what position?
Whoa. Sorry, we've got one off into the gravel at Copse and may have ended up making the barriers there as well. And I fear that was Ben Smiles. It was certainly one of the white cars. No, it's a Ben Hansey, actually. Ben Smiles has actually got a big dent in the front of his car. I saw it coming through. But yeah, Ben Hansey getting away with a big moment. That was a high speed off he just had.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Barnard, I don't think... Oh, there she's 19th. You can see on screen now, so she's getting a 10-second penalty to be added to her time. Right, it's Simon Walker Hansel there in 2nd. It is Oak Richardson in 3rd. Ian Tomlinson in 4th. 5th is Michael Pearce. They're all playing very much second fiddle to Ben Short, although the gap did come down by 3 tenths of a second on the previous lap. There's still 7 3/4 minutes to go, so we're not even halfway through this race. It feels like quite a lot has happened.
Yeah, it certainly has. Tom Holland and Jordan Johnson have joined the back of that second place battle as well, so it's 7 going for that at the moment as Tom Holland does the fastest lap of the race, 1:12.5 out there. Just latching onto the back of Michael Pearce as well.
Faster than Ian Tomlinson's lap this morning, which is a 1:12.621 as well. So Thomas Holland not hanging about here as he's trying to get back into contention for a sort of podium finish, which is not beyond the realms of possibility. Rest of the field streaming their way through. Big fields. We've got, I think, most of the 40 cars still circulating, certainly. Vast majority of them. May have been 1 or 2 that have fallen by the wayside, but as usual, pretty good reliability with these cars. There goes Ben Short through shot. Here's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, with Pearce ahead of Thomas Hollands at the back of the group, and then a little bit further back, Jordan Johnson.
But they've calmed down a little bit, and I almost wonder if they are trying to do something about Ben Short's advantage. It did come down by 3 tenths of a second last time around, although 2.2 seconds is quite the adversary to overcome, especially with just 6 minutes remaining in the race. This is looking a bit more like the Ben Short of old at the moment, isn't it, which we haven't seen all weekend really. But Oak Richardson practically pushing Simon Walker Hansel up the start and finish straight there in 3rd position, who was leading the championship. Had a very good weekend at Brands Hatch with 2 wins and a podium in the reverse grid race. Obviously came away with 2nd in yesterday's race 1, but disaster sort of struck in this morning's race, and there was nearly disaster again for him there as he took an awful lot of dirt and dust over the curbing, and a little bit more going through Beckett's in hot pursuit of 2nd placed Walker Hansel.
Yeah, absolutely right. Down the Wellington Straight into the braking area for Brooklands they go. In front of the BRDC grandstand there. There'll be a few people spectating from there, I shouldn't wonder, this afternoon. You can see there's a smattering of spectators in the grandstand. It's a great place to watch from, especially at the Walter Hayes Trophy. It's the great atmosphere you get in there. Here's a battle. That's Ben Smiles and Matthew Pennefather-Neal, I think, doing battle for 8th and 9th position, possibly. Scott Leach is in that group as well. He's currently 13th at the moment. Again, having dropped back earlier on.
So 5 minutes to go then in this race, and still Richardson's not really showing his nose, but they really have brought the gap down to the lead. They've halved it, in fact. It's 1.3 seconds to Ben Short now, who... well, it says he only did a 13.4 last time around, but the gap now just 1.3 seconds. There's Ben Smiles, big dent on the front of his car. That's not a very smiley car at all at the moment, but he's trying to work his way back inside the top 7. He's leading Matthew Pennefather-Neal at the moment, isn't he? That 21 machine. So there is a bit of a gap to the cars in front of him. Transponder issue for Trevor Jenkins. If you see his name fluttering about the timing screen, don't worry about it too terribly much. Luckily, that's not one of the front-running cars. That would have been a bit of a nightmare, especially with how close some of these cars are. It would need... back in the old days, you'd need the old photo finish technology, wouldn't you? So they go back across the timing line now, and the lead gap now half a second. Simon Walker-Hansel and Oak Richardson are working so well together. They brought down that gap. That was over 2 seconds. They took another 3/4 of a second out of Ben Short last time around. It's just half a second with 3.5 minutes to go. This is on.
It certainly is. There's a back marker ahead I can see as well.
Look, it's there.
The three of them are right together as they work lap 10 of what's probably going to be 13, and now Walker-Hansel's got an overlap very nearly on Ben Short as they head up the Wellington Straight. Ducks back into the tow here. Top 3 away from Michael Pearce and Thomas Hollands and Jordan Johnson, who are 4th, 5th and 6th. Is there going to be a move into Brooklands? No, there's not. Not amongst the first 3 anyway. So it's Ben Short, number 71. He was leading by the best part of 3 seconds not so very long ago. Now leading by less than a car length from Simon Walker-Hansel in 2nd, Oak Richardson in 3rd. Looks like Thomas Holland's got his way up into 4th position as well, I could see in the background of shot there. So coming across the line with 10 laps gone and about 3 laps to go.
Now it's just 0.4 of a second that separate the top 3 with 2.5 minutes remaining in this race. Still the great battle for 4th happening, but let's keep our eyes on the leaders because Simon Walker-Hansel is starting to line up Ben Short for a manoeuvre. He's got to be careful with Oak Richardson. They've worked so well together to try and get up to the back of Ben Short. They can't throw it away now. 5-second track limits penalty for Ben Smiles, but here comes Simon Walker-Hansel on the inside at Beckett. He takes the lead of the race away, and Richardson's trying to follow him through on the inside as well. Side by side, absolutely level pegging, door handle to door handle between Ben Short, who kicks up some dirt on the exit of the corner. Oak Richardson on driver's right, and he has to tuck back in behind Ben Short, who had the better momentum, maybe catching a little bit of that slipstream from Simon Walker-Hansel as well. We have a new race leader. It is Simon Walker-Hansel, who runs a little bit wide into Brooklands, and that is great news for Ben Short as he sniffs an opportunity.
Absolutely right. So 2 laps to go, we reckon, at the end of this one. Which one of these 3 is going to win the race? I suspect it will be one of them because they're now quite a long way clear of the rest of them. The gap back to Tom Holland's group is now just waiting to see that flick up. About 4 seconds, I think. Yeah, or 2.4 seconds. Looked longer.
Felt like longer, didn't it?
It did, as they turn their way through Cops then. It's Walker-Hansel leading, Short 2nd, Richardson 3rd. This is where strategy really does come into play now as we go into the last lap and a half or so of this race. Where do you want to position your car going into the last lap and into the complex down the Wellington Straight for the final time? It's about going to be about not making the moves for the next half a lap to a lap, I would think.
Look at those 3 cars in front as well. they're likely to play a part in this as well. So we've got 2 individual 3-car battles, one for all the podium spots, one for 4th through 6. Here comes Ben Short trying to retake the lead of the race into Brooklands on the inside. Could Oak Richardson follow him through as well? He tried to follow Simon Walker-Hansel through earlier. That didn't quite work out for him. So again, he has to settle in behind and sit in 3rd position for just a little bit longer. But 1 lap remains and Ben Short has retaken the lead of the race. Has Walker-Hansel or Richardson got anything left in the tank?
Time will tell then. Over the line they go. They've got those back marks and it's Ben Short by 0.2 of a second from Walker-Hansel. 0.3 further back is Richardson in 3rd place.
Yeah, those are the back markers in front of the leaders. It's that second queue. There they are, coming out of Copse Corner.
Yeah, certainly are, and they're going to get them, I think, by the time they get to Beckett's, which is not necessarily going to be the best place to catch them, I don't think. It's Walker-Hansel and Short worse side by side. They're going off the inside of the back marking number 26 car, which is that of Izzy Burrows. Ben Short is still there as well in 3rd. 2 more back markers to try and get past which side they're going to go. There's almost some contact there. And Richardson and Ben Short now are door handle to door handle.
He was banging doors either side of him. First of all with the back marker and then with Ben Short. So Short's gone through. He's lunging on the inside into Brooklands. There's barely the gap for an MX5 to go through there, but he's just about managed to take the lead. And Richardson has a huge swapper as well in 3rd position. And unless Simon Walker-Hansel can get the exit of a lifetime, this should be Ben Short's.
It should be, but it's a decent exit. Is it good enough? I don't think it quite is. It's going to be Ben Short, I think, to take a second victory of the weekend, waiting for them to come over the line, which they do now. And it's Ben Short by 0.152 seconds from Simon Walker-Hansel. A similar gap back to Oak Richardson in 3rd, Thomas Holland 4th, Ian Tomlinson 5th, Michael Pearce in 6th position. But Ben Short really did thread the eye of the needle into Brooklands that time, didn't he? The final time when it really mattered to get the victory, and those back markers did play a part, I think, Chris, as they came through the final few corners of that race.
Yeah, absolutely. Richardson went from banging doors on the left-hand side with the back marker, then to rubbing panels with Ben Short on his right-hand side as they made their way down the back straight. But look at that, 0.317 of a second between the top 3 at the checkered flag. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, superb race. A win then for number 71, Ben Short, at the end of 13 laps of racing. Number 4, Simon Walker-Hansel in 2nd, 0.152 seconds behind. In 3rd place, number 17 was Oak Richardson. 4th, number 74, Thomas Holland. 5th was 9, Ian Tomlinson. Michael Pearce, number 17, took 6th. Jordan Johnson, who was a winner this morning, number 92, took 7th place, ahead of number 13, Scott Leach. Zoltan Shabai, number 168, was 9th. Ahead of Matthew Pennefather-Neal in 10th place, number 21. And Matthew Short, Matthew Hallam, Ben Smiles with that 5-second penalty added to his time. That cost him about 4 or 5 positions in the end. And then 14th was Scott Lawrence. And then Bradley Gaunt 15th, Martin Vernon 16th, Alexandra Quachty 17th, and Stephen Robinson, Ben Hansey and Sam Moody rounded out the top 20 in the 5 Club MX5 Cup. So it remains to be seen who's going to be leading the championship after that. I suspect Oak Richardson, because he was the best of the sort of leading championship contenders in that race, in 3rd place, may have just about kept the lead of the championship as they go to the next meeting. That is going to be at Castle Combe. That's at the end of June. It's going to be a busy day because there's 3 races all in one day at Castle Combe for the 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup. It's not one we're going to be live streaming, unfortunately, but we'll see the MX5s again later on in the season. So we still have a few races to come this afternoon. We've got the MR2s up next, then the Absolute Alignment Swift Sport Challenge, the PBS Brakes Hot Hatch Championship, and the BMW Car Club Racing Championship to complete the day's 25, or the weekend's 25 races, the 15 that we will have had today.
Yeah, still plenty more to come. Second race for Swift Sport. Very much looking forward to that. And of course, Rogue Motorsport Toyota MR2 Championship coming up next. Big dramas in the championship this morning in that one. We'll get into that a little bit later on, as for now we are just celebrating the excellent performance seen in the Massimo Tyres 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup. And so Ben Short was saying yesterday that he was a bit older and chubbier. Was that the word he used?
That was definitely his word.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, not his. And dealing with the heat. Let's see how he coped with the heat today. He's with Kieran.
Well, the MX5s once again delivered, and we're here obviously with the winner, Ben Short. You really, really had to work for that one.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I did, yes. The start of the race did go my way, and the middle section did as well. But a couple of good drivers there, Simon and Oak, and I think they worked out that if they worked together, they could close the gap. I was hoping that they would just continue to fight because it was going my way. But yeah, and then nice little scrap at the end, really. What was it, 3 laps? 3 laps of scrapping with a couple of back markers thrown in for a bit of randomness.
Talk to us about that dive down the inside for the win at the end there.
Right, so yeah, there was no last lap board, but I was pretty confident that we must be there or thereabouts because we normally only catch the lap traffic a lap or so before the end. And the lap traffic, I went out really wide, cut underneath them, whereas Simon and Oak went down the inside of them and got a bit of a run down the straight, and then yeah, on the brakes, slithered it in, I suppose would be the best way to put it. But it's nice to have the weight out the back of the car and it be a bit more planted.
100%. Well, congratulations for ending the weekend in such spectacular fashion.
Thanks very much, and thank you to all the team who have worked really hard this weekend. Cheers, guys.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We'll move to Simon. Just couldn't quite make it then, but it's very, very close.
It was mega. Any 3 of us could have won that, and I was waiting for the last lap board, and when I saw he was coming, do I fully defend? I thought I don't want to be in the lead on the last lap, so if I let one of them pass, I didn't want to let Oak through as well because then it would be more difficult. But second would have been perfect on the last lap, and there was no last lap board, so we got the checkered. But I enjoyed it. I'm in the championship. I don't think Ben is, so really it's Oak ran a clean race, and I guess that's important for points. And I've enjoyed the weekend.
And obviously you guys ended up working together to catch Ben as well. Was the communication between the two of you to decide that?
Yeah, I was giving him plenty of waves, and once I realised he was going to work with me, then it became easier because I didn't have to defend, and we soon reeled Ben in. Ben looked to be struggling with his handling or whatever this weekend. He's really, it's been really close racing, which is nice to see, and it's great to be able to race the guy and have a good week. Everyone's enjoyed the weekend. It's been great.
100%. Well, congratulations on second.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Oak, we obviously didn't quite manage to catch up with you earlier on because you had a bit of an iffy race, let's put it that way, but obviously get back on the podium today for the third race. Talk to us about the disparity between the second race and the third race.
Well, this race I didn't get taken out, so that was a disparity. So yeah, last race started 13th, well, finished 13th, started 13th. First few laps were pretty good, got through, and I could see that Ben had already disappeared down the road. And with a circuit like this, if someone's got a gap and you've got no slipstream to them, you have to work together to get them. And that's what I did with Simon. I could have gone past him so many times in many of those laps, but he'd have just come straight back past me. So there's no point doing that. And we caught Ben. As those two boys said, there was no last lap board, which is a shame. But we caught back markers down the bottom there, and that kind of skewered every chance I had. I just sort of ended up in the wrong place there. But yeah, no, it's good fun. It's nice to finish on the podium last race after such a poor previous race.
100%. Is a bit of sort of damage reduction trying to get back up, especially in the points for the championship as well between you and Simon?
Me and who? I mean Simon. Sorry, I don't think Simon's doing the championship. So no, I think he's only doing like 2 or 3 rounds. So, and I don't know if Ben's doing the whole lot either. So hopefully that means good things for me. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Well, congratulations on the podium.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you very much. All right, so that wraps it up for the MX5s for the weekend, but we've still got a few races still to go. Coming up next, we have the Rogue Motorsport Toyota MR2 Championship.